games. They're pretty fast.
Martin Brodeur, 23, has started every game for his team. Best average in the playoffs, and he has never faced Detroit. At the other end of the ice, it'll be Mike Vernon, 32 years of age, has started every game for his team. Second best average in the playoffs. He hasn't faced the New Jersey Devils in 4 years, and that team has changed a lot in that time. The field of 59 officials is down to just 7 now. That's based on merit tonight. Bill McCreary, Brian Murphy, and Kevin Collins. Terry Gregson and Wayne Bonney, the standbys. The off-ice officials are from Toronto, and downstairs to Joe Micheletti.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. The tradition began in 1952 of throwing the octopus on the ice. The 8 tentacles, symbolic of the number of playoff wins to win the Stanley Cup. But things have changed here in Detroit. A lot of people are thinking that the tradition is getting too old. It's time to move on. In one fish market, they're giving away the octopus by showing a ticket for tonight's game, and Steve Yzerman wants everything to end. Well, folks, here's my vote that the tradition ends tonight.
Ooh.
How do you handicap a blind date, John?
They haven't played against each other all season long. 2 great coaches, Jacques Lemaire with New Jersey, Scotty Bowman with Detroit. Both have had control of their teams for 2 seasons. Both have total control of their players. Let's see what type of matchups they go with. They start Broughton against Fedorov. Here we go.
Broughton, McLean, and Chorsky for New Jersey. Stevens and Chambers. Doug Brown, Fedorov, and Kozlov for Detroit with Rouse and Fetisov. Scott Stevens, the captain of New Jersey. That tap, but taken by John McLean. Right back to him, but he flexed it back in. And Mike Vernon allows this one to go. Chorsky got there, but the icing touch-up comes.
Slava Fetisov, a former New Jersey Devil, was traded to the Detroit Red Wings prior to the trade deadline during this past hockey season. He was brought into head coach Scotty Bowman's office, and they spent a good deal of time going over New Jersey, each player, each system that the Devils employ on the ice. In fact, Scotty Bowman, whom you're looking at, called the hockey world. He called everybody he knew how to beat the trap, how to beat the Devils, what to look for with tendencies of their players.
House a shot, and it was deflected wide. Fetisov took the hit and rolled it around behind. Fedorov couldn't get it there. Broughton could. And along to Chorsky. He's able to pitch it along, but it's kept alive by Kozlov and handed over to Slava Fetisov. Handed quickly to Fedorov. On across. Kozlov couldn't get a shot away because of Stevens. Now it's taken by Doug Brown, the ex-Devil. Chipped over to Fedorov. Sergei Fedorov controlling and firing one that's blocked aside. And it'll be the Devils to take over in the person of Tom Chorsky. Chorsky out of the University of Minnesota just popped it back in the first shift change of the game for New Jersey. As Detroit brings it back, Kozlov shaking it on ahead for Darren McCarty. McCarty walks up in the corner with Tommy Albaline on the defense. Puck picked up by Yzerman, and the captain for Detroit couldn't get to the front. Now it's Airy. Rammed by Niedermayer, but he got it behind McCarty there. There were 3 Red Wings behind the net at once. Airy along now for Yzerman, who turns. Yzerman back behind for McCarty. Carpenter on him. Carpenter able to knock it away. Veteran defensive-minded centerman out of Beverly, Massachusetts, threw it back down and on Mike Vernon.
You can see Detroit feeling good, handling the puck well, getting in the offensive zone, but this defensive New Jersey club, well-schooled in team defense, not giving up anything of quality yet.
Sean Burr got it up to Keith Primo and to Paul Coffey, but knocked away from him by Richer, and Coffey taken hard to the glass. Now Bobby Holik is back in a 2-on-1. He fires! Oh, and Vernon came up with it, and then it popped loose, but the whistle and blow.
Bobby Carpenter for the Devils went off the ice. Holik replaced him, had the first good scoring chance of this series, and Mike Vernon, who stands up, plays angles well, did the good job in making the save. There you see the Devils. Holik, it's a 2-on-1. He took the shot. You see the winger come in looking for the rebound. There was a quick whistle as Bill McCreary lost sight of the puck. You see the man on the left side driving to the net. There's the shot. It rattles between the legs of Vernon. He's not sure where it is. And Niedermayer, the defenseman, nearly got the rebound.
New Jersey has a line they assembled in mid-year last season called the Crash Line. All of these guys are big. They all hit, and you'll see examples here. Mike Peluso, former Chicago Blackhawk on left wing. On the right wing, Randy McKay, an ex-Red Wing, and Bobby Holik, who tried to dance by the defense there as the centerman. And bodies normally go flying when they're playing. Ray Shepard got it back on for Chris Draper. Lays it on for Stu Grimson, a tough man in his own right. It's not booing. You hear the Stu chant go up whenever he handles the puck. He's number 32 in white. Now it's brought on by Mike Peluso. Given to Bruce Driver. Driver, who missed the last 3 games because of a back injury, is back in the lineup for the first of these finals tonight.
Driver had wrenched his back in a knot of muscle for him as the muscles were trying to tell his body that there was a problem, but it's calmed down. He's been able to practice. You can see he's able to shoot the puck, and he's united with Ken Danico. It's interesting, the Devils have broken the defense pairing of Scott Stevens and Ken Danico, who played against Eric Lindros, and every time that line for Philadelphia was on the ice. Stevens now on the ice with Sean Chambers. So the Devils, a hockey club led by that man, Jacques Lemaire, a team that can adjust all over the place with each game, with each period, with each shift, whatever they need to do.
If Jacques Lemaire wins a championship with New Jersey, he'll be the 3rd former player for Scotty Bowman to coach a Stanley Cup champion. Al Arbour and Terry Chris, the other 2. Puck floated in away from Brodeur, thrown by McCarty off Brodeur. Loose puck poked along now for Sergei Brylin. Out of Moscow, Russia. Brylin with a pass that's off Bill Guerin, swung right back in. And Chambers rolls it behind. And along for Guerin. Rammed by Bob Airy. And knocked flying was Brylin by McCarty. Airy comes up with it. Airy tried to get it in front. Knocked down and thrown away by Brylin. Drive by Lidstrom. Set back up for Yzerman, who shot one, and that ricocheted back out. 3 minutes, 10 seconds have been played in the first period, and both teams with a shot. Yzerman couldn't take that pass. Paul Coffey threw it back in and then took the obligatory hit from Bill Guerin. If you were to ask the Devils about this shot total right now, I think they'd be happy with this 1-1 because you expect Detroit to come at you in waves. No score. Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. 34th consecutive playoff sellout here at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, extending back to April of 1988. They love their hockey here, and they have supported this team in some years when they didn't even make the playoffs.
This is without a doubt one of the great hockey cities in North America. For this faceoff, Sean Burr took the faceoff and not the centerman, Keith Primo.
It's the same line that the Devils had out to start this game. Torski and playing the wingers for Neil Broughton. Broughton battling now along the wall. Neil Broughton, a member of the 1980 gold medal U.S. Olympic team. Fetisov over. Rouse with a shot blocked right out by Brodeur. And flung back down. Rouse going for the icing touch-up.
The 3rd or 4th icing in the period by New Jersey. Whenever they find themselves getting into any form of trouble, they move the puck down the ice and then collect themselves and prepare themselves for their own zone. Scotty Bowman said, when you think about New Jersey, you have to respect their speed. Nobody talks about it. But we know they play that web of a trap in the neutral zone to create the turnovers. We're going to try and beat it with speed. We're going to try and beat them with speed. You can't trap what you can't catch. Scotty Bowman coached in Montreal, won Stanley Cups 4 in a row in the 70s, and one of his best players was the head coach Jacques Lemaire of the New Jersey Devils.
Jacques was there for all 5 of the ones that Bowman coached, and Jacques had 3 others. So a total of 8. Puck to the point, and Fetisov shot ricocheted off Randy McKay and back. Rouse drives it back in, eludes the stick of Brodeur. Doug Brown helped it along. Kozlov shot turned aside by Brodeur. Centering pass and a beauty by Fetisov, cut off by Driver, and around now for Claude Lemieux. And Rouse, and then he's plastered by Bobby Holik. Claude Lemieux, leading scorer in these playoffs with 11 goals, rolling it back in. And it's Fetisov, his former teammate, taking it away from him. Fetisov lost to Richer. Flipped one in front that's guided away by the now helmetless Rouse and taken by Niedermeyer. It's Kozlov taking it over. But now Brodeur. And offside. The puck must be the first thing to cross that line if you're attacking. In that case, it had been, but was thrown back out and brought in early.
I think 2 of the different styles we may see here. Detroit's defense will try to keep the puck in when New Jersey tries to come up the wings. In other words, that's called a pinch. They'll pinch in at the blue line to keep the puck in. New Jersey's defensemen don't do it, and they haven't had a chance to here so far in the first period as the puck has been kept in the Devils zone. But again, the Devils defensively have not given anything up whatsoever.
2 shots for Detroit, 1 shot for New Jersey. Nearly 4:45 has been played. And it is Stephane Richer up with it. Bangs it back off, hoping for Claude Lemieux. And Lemieux just pitched it back out. Vladimir Vladimir Konstantinov, one of the many heroes of the Chicago series, who had a double overtime goal. Howe with a pass that misfired and went down. Martin Brodeur slugs it on, and Peluso chipped it back out. Konstantinov chasing it down on defense, and Holik on him. Detroit rolling it ahead. Chris Draper bringing it on. Matched by Bruce Driver, but then he pulls away. Here's Draper wanting a wraparound and didn't get it. Without a stick was Randy McKay, and he retrieves it.
New Jersey changed on the fly to get the matchup they wanted. They wanted the Holik line out here against the big player Primo. Two big centermen, big player. Primo at times can play the wing or center ice. Scotty Bowman will juggle his lines more, I think, than will Jacques Lemaire.
Holik with a shot that went wide. Both teams with 12 wins in 3 rugged fire best-of-7 series. The Red Wings had 2 more days of rest. Their series ended last Sunday. Actually, Monday morning because of double overtime. Here's Erie trying to get through and can't. But all of this brought back on an offside. 14:03 to go in the first period, and we have no score.
210 pounds, Primo into Peluso, who weighs 200 pounds himself. And Peluso with a little message as the parted the hitter in talking about Primo.
In average size, the defense almost exactly the same in inches and in pounds. But the Devils have a 1-inch advantage and a 7-pound advantage when it comes to the forwards. And a lot of it has to do with the crash line. That is not the unit out there right now. Jacques Lemaire is going with Bill Guerin with the puck on right wing. Sergei Freeland, who had it for a moment, number 18 in red, the centerman. And the other winger is now Tom Chorsky. Vernon with a faulty handle, but there to help was Coffey, and along now to Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli on back to Nicholas Lidstrom. Penalty coming up. It'll be against New Jersey. The Devils touch, and the first power play of the game will be coming up. Elapsed time in the period, 6:47, but no score. Bill Guerin, a holding penalty at 6:47, and Dino will get a chance to go out on the power play. Earlier in the playoffs, he had a power play hat trick.
That was Dino.